Hi, fans of high-quality entertainment. So I'm going to talk about this 2-disc DVD, Woodstock 3 Days of Peace and Music, the director's cut. And I'm going to rank the 15 performances from my least favorite to my favorite in just a second. And just, talk about Woodstock for a minute. So I do remember being 11 years old and, Woodstock happening. And then the movie came out, I think it was in 1970. And I do remember at least one of my older brothers going to it was, I couldn't see it. It was restricted, I believe. There was some nudity. I would have liked to have seen it. And I do remember him coming back home, and I think he got a poster when he went to the movies, 3 Days of Peace and Love, or whatever it said. And I still remember him saying that the best performance was by Sly and the Family Stone, and his least favorite, or at least the one that he found really boring and annoying, was 10 Years After, I'm Going Home. And I also, remember back in the early 70s having the album Woodstock 3 LP set. I think that was probably the first 3-album set, at least for rock music that we had in the family. And I really enjoyed that. And, through the years, I did see the original movie, and then this one is kind of with some newer stuff that I guess was in the vaults for quite a few years, and then some that was seen in the original movie. So I'm just ranking the performances that are on this 2-disc DVD. Some are from the original movie, of course, and then there's some performances that were in a vault for about 40 years. I bet you didn't know that. So here we go. And remember, this is just my own personal list. And there's 16 performances. So number 16, and I was thinking he did a better performance than when I watched it again after a few years, but I thought it was kind of mediocre, and I don't even think the crowd was totally into it. Of course, he was stoned, and most of the crowd was stoned too. It's John Sebastian with Younger Generation. It wasn't a bad performance, but it was just, okay, I guess. Number 15, Joan Baez, Joe Hill, and Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. Great vocals by her, just not my kind of music, but her vocals were superb. Number 14, now this, I actually didn't know this, but I guess her performance wasn't in the original Woodstock movie because she was a little off. It wasn't a bad performance from just the one song I saw on this DVD, but I think she was so nervous, she was drinking a bit too much and maybe other things too. So number 14 is Janis Joplin with Work Me Lord. Number 13 is Country Joe and the Fish with Rock and Roll Soul Music. They were really good. I enjoyed that. Number 12 is the dreaded performance, at least when it comes to my brother. 10 Years After, I'm Going Home. Once again, the song itself was good, but it kind of does drag on a little bit. But no denying Alvin Lee is a great guitarist, and he put in, a great performance, with the band. But it's just not one of my favorites, or my brother's. Number 11 is Richie Havens, who opened the concert with Handsome Johnny and Freedom. And Freedom, he just improvised on the spot. He was very good. Number 10, I really enjoyed this performance. Sha Na Na with At the Hop. They really brought a lot of energy, kind of probably needed around that point of early in the performances, and I think Sha Na Na is not respected like they should be because, 50s music kind of started getting more popular with, American Graffiti and Happy Days and all that in the like 73, 74, 75. But Sha Na Na was, promoting 50s music even back in the late 60s. And just a very fun performance. Number 9, Jefferson Airplane, Won't You Try an Uncle Sam's Blues. Excellent performance for both songs. Number 8 is Country Joe McDonald without his band. And he's saying Uncle Sam's Blues and I Feel Like I'm Fixin' to Die, which of course is one of the highlights of the movie. And it's 1, 2, 3, what are we fighting for? Don't worry, I don't give a damn. The next stop is Vietnam. And I liked it, being an 11-year-old kid, that there was swearing in the song. So yeah, great performance by Country Joe McDonald. Number 7, one of my favorite, my favorite blues band, Canned Heat. They performed A Change Is Gonna Come, and I love Alan Wilson. Great slide guitar work, and the whole band, of course. So they had a pretty cool performance. Number 6, Crosby, Stills and Nash, and I believe Neil Young was there too, but he didn't want to be filmed. Sweet Judy Blue Eyes. I thought that was only their second ever live performance, and they were great, even though they were very nervous. And I don't know if it's true or not, but David Crosby looked super stoned. I know, it's a shocker. Number 5, The Who, We're Not Gonna Take It, Summertime Blues. I don't think it was their greatest live performance, but they were really good, of course. But even Keith Moon, even though his drumming was great, he seemed a little subdued for him. And I would say it was a very good performance, but not a great performance. And I know that Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey weren't very happy with Woodstock in general, and maybe with their performance, but they were good. Number 4, Santana. And they performed Soul Sacrifice, and of course, Carlos Santana. It's well known that he took some LSD before the performance, and so he was saying that when he was playing the guitar, his fingers looked like snakes, but the performance is pretty solid. And a big thumbs up to the drummer, Michael Shreve. He was only 19 years old during Woodstock. And he's just, he's not a big guy, like John Bonham or whatever. He's just a kind of a little guy, but he was a very, very powerful drummer. He was really good. The whole band, of course. Now, some of you will be surprised that this is number 3, but like I said, this is just my own personal opinion. Jimi Hendrix, he was amazing with Voodoo Child and the Stars Spangled Banner and Purple Haze, but it was just the last few minutes, at least, on this DVD, where it kind of, near the end, he was just kind of just goofing around on his guitar almost, like, and it seemed to go on for kind of like 10 years after. But for the most part, his performance was great. I think he's the greatest guitarist ever. And the one thing that really annoyed me watching it last night, and I watched the whole movie, was when he was doing all of his great guitar work, a lot of the times it would only show him up to here. It wouldn't show him, the guitar and what he's doing with the frets and everything. And so I was kind of getting a little mad. Yeah, there'd be times it would show his face and then one of the towers. It's like, I want to see, even though I'm not a guitarist, I want to see him playing his fingers and everything. Number 2, knocked it out of the park and back in. Joe Cocker and the Grease Band with a little help from my friends. And I agree with my brother all of these years later. I think the best performance was Sly and the Family Stone with I Want to Take You Higher. He really got the whole 500,000 or whatever it was crowd right into it. And just really high energy and pretty cool. So that is my ranking of, like I said, it's just for this DVD. I know there were a lot more performances. And I would love your thoughts in the comment section below. Have you seen the movie Woodstock? Did you buy the 3-disc album? What are some of your favorite performances from it? And that's about it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.